welcome each and every one of you to episode number 1 of Call of Cthulhu. So, first of all, I'm a little bit annoyed right now, and I'm gonna tell you exactly why. So, this game is... this playthrough is gonna be a blind playthrough. That means it's a blind playthrough for the most part, because I already recorded the first episode and I played a little bit of the game. But I had some problems with my PlayStation that reset itself to the default settings, and what I did not realize is that if you record a clip and you're on the default settings, it will not pick up the microphone audio, so I have just the gameplay without any commentary. I just wanted to be like, oh, if anyone wants to see that, like, just the gameplay there, you can say that in the comments, but I actually just deleted it, so that's not an option anymore. Anyways, I'm just gonna try to replicate what I did for the most part, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about what I think about what I see and what I do there. And I definitely try to do this, like, I try to make the same decisions I made the first time. A little bit of decision making already happened in the first episode. And let's jump into it. So let's go new game and just start here. Exactly, I played the first chapter. So, the first chapter was about 30 minutes long. Maybe I overshot it a bit, but not too much. So this time I guess I'm gonna aim for that again. Like, I try to play till I'm at the same spot. And I'm assuming that it will take me about 30 minutes to go there. And we start off with a creepy sequence where we are kind of thrown right into into things happening. I'm just gonna say that, right? So here we have a quote of H.P. Lovecraft. And now we wake up in this dirty dead fish corpse hell. It's like a cave and it's filled with fish and whale corpses. So this is already in-game graphics, but I do not have any control yet. So I am not able to turn back here. So the first thing I did was I was just pressing all the buttons to see what happens, and what I found out is that I can duck by pressing circle, I can run by pressing L2, and I can press R1 and L1 to just lean to the sides. So those are the controls I found out about. So far, like, that was also everything I have. So, and what I want to talk about is atmosphere. I enjoy the atmosphere here. We have this little foggy filter on. You can, like, if you move, you can see that this filter moves independent of, like, the actual area. It's kind of tied to my screen, I guess. It's an interesting effect they create. And here we have a chain, which we cannot break yet. And here we have, like, one of the first mechanics the game introduces us to, and it is darkness. And what darkness does is, here's an item, but we cannot pick it up because we cannot see what it is or where it is, because it's too dark, so we need light. And here is a light, but before I take the light... Oh wait, no, I'm gonna pick up the light right away, but one thing I want to mention is, so here we have a little bit of, like, a pier, where, I don't know, small boats could be, I guess. And when I get on the pier, there is something in the water in that direction I'm looking at right now. And my controller started rumbling as long as I was standing on the pier. So what I want to try out now is I want to pick this lamp up, and I'm gonna go on the pier and I'm gonna stay there. So let's see, can we see something there? Oh yeah, that's a big thing. So now my controller's rumbling. It's getting shaky. I'm gonna stay here and see if something happens. Okay, nothing happened. I just wanted to see, I guess last time I just had luck timing of getting off this thing the moment the rumbling stopped. So yeah, I just wanted to see maybe this would... I thought that maybe this would have been something similar to like Resident Evil 4, where you can provoke the giant fish monster to just instant kill you if you shoot the water while standing on the pier for too long. So now we can break open chains, and one thing I want to mention is, like, I can now open this door, right? But
In my wake,
oh yeah, let's listen to that.
fate inescapably draws you on.
What's that thing on... Yeah, the thing on the ceiling is moving, right? Or maybe it's just my vision that's blurry. So another little mechanic I found out is these chains have one side from which you are supposed to open them. So I cannot open this from here, but if I turn around, and I did that the last time as well. Just walking around here. Oh yeah, and the unnerving music starts playing. From here I can open it. This is just a funny little yeah, it's a little thing that you might want to keep in mind, because maybe it will get relevant. So what I did here was I was just looking around and looking at things, and specifically I was trying to look at details. So yeah, here we have a dead killer whale. And so I saw that you can see flies flying around next to the fish intestines and whale intestines. I wanted to see if there are like also maggots swirling around in it, and it seems to be not the case. You might think now, ugh, disgusting, why am I trying to look at stuff like that? But what can I say? I just want to have an eye for detail. I want to see where the developers put eyes for details, use eyes for details as well, and put them in there. It's not that...
Don't fight. You have been chosen.
Okay. It's not that I think that, oh, there needs to be maggots for it to be good or anything like that, but subtle little details like that, I appreciate them, so I'm gonna be on the lookout for stuff like that. And also I just really like the visuals. I like this cave, I think this is very atmospheric. And now we start a cutscene.
Everything has already
Yeah, we see like faceless people, we see some kind of cultists, and then like a guy with a gun, some kind of soldier. And there's a tentacle man.
your destiny.
And I should stop talking over the dialogue. And there we wake up in our agency, because it was all just a dream.
I hate whiskey.
So let's go through this, right? So first of all, the first thing I did, and I will do that again, is drinking whiskey. And this is telling me that this affects my destiny. So that's interesting. So now the next thing is I can look at different things in the office.
Been a while since I jotted down something other than my nightmares.
So we got a journal. Yeah, this journal is our menu. And I went through the menu stuff as well. We have the case where we have basically our mission, our main quest line. And right now we don't have a mission. And our agency is, like, we're about to lose our license as a private investigator. Because we're a private investigator and we are a war veteran. So, but we don't have taken any cases lately, and we're about to lose our license. Then we have the Pierce thing, where we can see different skills, I guess. So that will be important later. And then we have the Dark Water, where we don't have any information yet. We have clues, and obviously we don't have any clues as we don't have a case. And here we have our inventory, and in our inventory there's right now a lighter, and this lighter is pretty cool. And there's also a little note that this lighter is engraved in the memory of the 77th Infantry Division and the men of the lost battalion who fell. So, yeah, obviously we have been to war and we have witnessed some shit, right? So I'm not gonna turn off the radio yet because that's progression.
Natural
so we
sciences, linguistics, archaeology.
So we have some stuff here that we can investigate.
A good old story of blackmail in a speakeasy.
Solved case. Item obtained, yeah. So I think...
Married woman runs off with her girlfriend. The husband couldn't understand it.
Yeah. And he kept calling me weeks after the investigation had been closed. So yeah, we find some stuff out here. So, I don't know, I didn't not touch the door early on. So this book will be important later, we cannot interact with it
Wentworth
yet.
Agency doesn't attract top-notch cases. I used to be an avid reader.
And here's a picture of the Lost Battalion.
Holding your position and obeying orders. That isn't courage.
Yeah.
Been too long since I've slept in a bed.
So I cannot interact with that door.
I wonder why I still
sleeping
take
pills.
these things.
Yes. So we take these sleeping pills with us. So the next thing that I did was I was drinking another sip of whiskey. Great stuff, good stuff. Now let's turn off the radio. Wait, can I interact with the door?
I have business here.
Okay, good. Cannot open the door. That's fine. We turn off the radio, now the phone starts ringing. I cannot turn on the radio again, by the way. No.
I'm listening.
Are you Edward Pierce, private investigator contracted by the Wentworth Detective Agency?
That's correct.
Hello, Mr. Pierce. I'm Lucy Sherifield, in charge of investigators over at Wentworth. I'm calling because of a problem with your file. A fire has destroyed some of our documents.
Is that right?
I'm so very sorry, but I have to collect your personal information yet again.
Okay, so now we can put in skill points, and I try to replicate how I skilled it the last time as good as I can. First of all, let's go over what all the skill points do, because most of them, like actually all of them seem to be pretty nice. So we have eloquence. Eloquence represents your ability to influence those you talk to by your power of speech. Improving this skill increases your chances of convincing or manipulating during discussions, which sounds really good, depending on how much of the game is talking to other people. Then we have strength. Strength represents your ability to call on your physical power. Improving this skill increases your chances of forcing doors or mechanisms, or of using violence, physical or verbal, during interactive discussions. So this seems to be really good as well. Like, being able to open a door that you usually won't be able to open sounds really good. And also the extra option of just like intimidating someone. Another dialogue thing that might be really fucking good. So, investigation. Investigation represents your investigating talents. Improving this skill increases your chances of understanding past events by analyzing a crime scene or an object, and of picking locks. So this, again, picking locks sounds really good. And also, just this whole analyzing a crime scene thing also seems amazing. So maybe this is one of you either go strength or investigation, because one's picking locks, the other is forcing open doors. So maybe maybe you don't want to skill both of them, but the other part, like the like threatening people and stuff like that, or like analyzing the crime scenes, sounds both really good. So then we have spot hidden, and spot hidden represents your ability to find hidden objects. Improving this skill increases your chances of finding hidden objects. An undiscovered object will not appear in game. So this means that it's not that items are more likely to be shown to me. That means if I have a lower skill, some items do not exist or are not interactable for me because my character does not realize they are there. So increasing this makes it so that there are more objects in the game. More objects might be extremely useful. So these skills all seem really, really good. So now psychology was the one that was a little bit underwhelming to me. Psychology represents your knowledge of human behavior. Improving this skill increases your chance of understanding the motivations of a person based on his or her behavior or on the analysis of objects. So here's the thing. I feel like just thinking logical, I might not really need this skill too much. Here's the thing, similar to the hidden spot thing, this might open up more interactions and stuff like that. But it's a little less clear what exactly it is doing for me and how helpful it will be. That means like just by what it's saying here, it sounds a little bit underwhelming, leading to me not really wanting to put too much into it. Though I think it might, like, considering how good all the skills are actually, I think this skill might be really good as well. Then we have occultism. Occultism represents your knowledge of the occult science. Improving this skill increases your chance of determining the use of and origin of an occult artifact or of expressing your knowledge of the myth. So this is a little bit, like, hard to tell what exactly it does, but considering that this game is Call of Cthulhu and we will have to do with some tentacle men and faceless cultists, probably good. And then we have medicine. Medicine presents your medical knowledge. Improving this skill increases your chance of determining the dosage of a drug, of making a diagnosis, or of expressing your understanding of a medical problem. So this sounds useful as well. I think the best skills seem to be these four, but I also want to put some in occultism, and I'm gonna go in on strength because I'm a soldier, so I think it makes sense for me to be strong. So now I'm gonna put some points in all of these, and I'm definitely putting these there, putting one in medicine, and let's this point go, yeah, that's it, yeah. We're gonna take these, and we're gonna accept this
Thank you for
creation.
this information, Mr. Pierce. Our files will soon be up to date. And on a related matter, may I raise a sensitive question?
What's wrong?
As you know, we wish to closely monitor the progress of our contractors. And it would seem you've been accepting fewer new cases.
Work is scarce.
Mr. Pierce, you know as well as I do there's never been more investigative work than now.
But are those cases worth it?
They're worth not losing your license. Show yourself worthy of the Wentworth Detective Agency, and we might keep you on the payroll. Mr. Pierce, are you still...
He just hung up on her. Very rude.
I'm coming.
I can hear my cats.
Sir, I came here on the advice of a person whom I hold in high esteem, and I must say that I expected anything but a drunkard's lair.
Maybe you can hear my
You're
cat as
free
well
to
right
leave
now.
anytime, sir.
Do you know to whom you speak?
Stephen Webster, industrialist and art collector. All of Boston knows you.
Tell me, Mr. Pierce, are you capable of handling a new case, or are you simply a deadbeat inebriate?
If you come to me, it means you're desperate.
Nobody believes me. They take me for an old fool. Sarah, my little girl, she is dead. Even you must know of her. She was Sarah Hawkins.
The painter? Yes. Everyone knows her work.
The police accuse her of killing her family. They all died in a fire. Sarah, her husband, and Simon, my grandson.
I can't do anything for a woman who is already dead.
Find out the truth. They say she was mad, but I know that's a lie. She would never have done such a thing.
But if you have no proof...
I've brought all that I have. Look. I want you to look carefully at this painting.
My cat is giving
Tell
us some
me
war
all the
howls.
assumptions that come to mind.
What am I supposed to find?
Tell me if this is the work of madness. Or if, on the contrary, you manage to detect some logic, a rationality to follow so that I may understand it.
Is that all you want from me?
Yes, please.
All right. I'll look at your picture.
Okay.
That's all you've got? The painting?
I placed a file on your desk. It contains everything I have on the affair.
Okay. So we have this file here. I did not want to talk over the dialogue. I wonder if you could hear my cat giving his war howls. I guess he's bored right now. That's what he's doing. He's just sitting on the staircase and just like howling menacingly. Gonna spend some time with him after this episode. So we have these
A warehouse on Darkwater.
So
Some sketches of the Hawkins family. Rather thin.
okay, let's go through all of this, right? Shipping label. Some of it is unreadable, but I can make out part of the address: Warehouse 36, Darkwater. The police report. It says that the fire started in the dining room and claimed the whole family. The police decide on a domestic accident, but they nevertheless insist on Sarah Hawkins' mental frailty. Why? And a press cutting, an article written about the marriage of Sarah Charles Hawkins, a businessman. Wait. Sarah and Charles Hawkins, a businessman from the island of Darkwater. They live a recluse life there with their only son Simon. Okay. So we got something here, and like one thing that right off the bat I found out is the police report, where they are like, it is a domestic accident, but it's important to insist on the fact that she was mentally fragile. So that is weird. So because the police report is then not saying that the fire, like she made the fire, or like the fire broke out because of her mental fragility. They just say, oh, it was an accident, but she also was mentally fragile. That is actually weird, and that's something the character will point out as well. So now we're gonna look at the picture, and like here we have a little bit of a jump in conclusion, in my opinion, that the character does, that I don't think is that understandable. So he's looking at this picture. Maybe you want to look at this picture and like think about it for yourself, just for a second. And now let's look what he has to say about it. And his conclusion is like, it comes very fast.
Its strange beauty isn't enough to hide the feeling of dread it carries.
So, Mr. Pierce, what do you make of these elements?
Okay, you're asking the wrong guy. Wait, this time he said something different. Interesting. Okay, let's go the
sender's
warehouse.
label mentions Warehouse 36.
That's right. It came with Sarah's last painting.
And you think your daughter could have been the sender?
That is what you must find out. Go to Darkwater. Find Warehouse 36.
Okay, so I don't want to say you're asking the wrong guy. Read about the mental fragility report. Yeah, let's say that right now.
You must tell me if what the police suggest about the mental state of your daughter is true.
No. Sarah had visions. Everyone knew that.
That actually sounds
She
weird.
never would have hurt a fly. She only thought she saw things.
Saw things? What do you mean by that?
I never knew what she meant by that. My daughter was an enigmatic figure, Mr. Pierce. You must find out the truth about her life and death.
Okay, something is right with the story.
Her husband was a big deal on the island. But the police are sticking to the accident theory. Though they mentioned Sarah's mental state was fragile. I believe you are right, sir. This case is not as simple as it appears.
I am aware of that. I believe there is more to this case than just an accident.
Okay, where did Sir Hawkins live?
Darkwater. Never heard of the place. Where is that?
It's a small, remote island off the coast of Boston. Sarah lived there with her son and her husband.
I suppose you want to ship me off there.
Darkwater holds the secret regarding my daughter, Mr. Pierce. You must uncover it.
So, he is gonna say the same thing about the warehouse, I believe.
The sender's label mentions Warehouse 36.
That's right. It came with Sarah's last
Yes.
painting.
And you think your daughter could have been the sender?
That is what you must find out. Go to Darkwater. Find Warehouse 36.
Okay, so yeah, he's just saying the same thing about this again and again. I don't want to say you're asking the wrong guy. That's all the information
I'm
I need.
beginning to understand.
I'm willing to do anything for my daughter to recover her honor.
Quiet down. I'm on your side. Let's sum things up. An artist dies with her family in a house fire. Your only clue is a sort of promontory painting sent from Darkwater right before her death.
Correct. And the rumors about her supposed folly.
Which you don't totally deny.
Find that warehouse. Find out the truth regarding Sarah Hawkins' death. You'll be handsomely compensated.
All right, I'll take the case. I'll go to Darkwater and look into the death of your daughter.
Thank you, Mr. Pierce. I didn't expect any less coming from a man in your situation.
Something's queer.
Wait.
It's not like I have a choice.
Okay. I think I know
Darkwater.
what happened. So this is actually
I think
sad.
I've got a book on the North Atlantic. I'll no doubt find some information on this island in there.
So as I said, last time I was looking at this, he was saying something else. And if I look at my Pierce thing, so it's saying on occultism that I have a 10% chance of something, right? It says 10%. I don't know how exactly it worked, but I think last time my occultism skill, even though I put the same amount of skill points into it, actually triggered and did something. Because the last time I was looking at it, he was mentioning that the symbol is like something special, and that he believes the painting is a message. That she actually sent a message to her father with the painting. And that was something he said last time, because of the symbol. And I guess the occultism skill made that. At least, like, that won't make sense to me right now. So, kind of annoying that it this time did not do it. Even though I did, like, the exact same thing, but yeah. I guess the game works with chances, so it makes sense. Now, we have this thing, which is a book about medicine, about all illness and shit, and just picking this thing up will increase our medicine skill. And this made me actually pretty happy, because maybe this game does not just give me level ups and put your skill points on whatever you want, but instead it will increase my skills based on my actions and things I find and things I interact with. So that I think would be pretty cool. So next thing,
Darkwater is
gonna
off
look
the
at
coast
this.
of Boston. But I've never heard of it.
So-
According to this book,
Okay.
it was often mentioned during whale hunting times at the end of the 19th century. But it seems to have been shunned since then.
Okay, now let's read this, right? Darkwater Island has been inhabited since the 14th century and is still rich with the many memories left by the lost tribes. But don't let the romanticism of the moving evidences such of naive and primitive beliefs fool you into forgetting how violent their gods were. A gigantic creature still ornates the walls of long abandoned caves. Was it a sea or a dream god? No one knows, but today's inhabitants, the sons and daughters of the proud whale hunters, still remember the mysterious and tumultuous story of their small land off the coast of Massachusetts. So, right off the bat, what came to my mind is, so obviously on this island they had like tribal gods, some other gods they pray to or something. Those will be obviously Lovecraftian gods, like Lovecraftian. So just in case you don't know what Lovecraftian means, H.P. Lovecraft was an author, and he created his own subgenre of horror, which is cosmic horror, or sometimes also dubbed as Lovecraftian horror, named after him. And Lovecraftian horror usually, or cosmic horror, usually tries to play with deep-rooted, like, existential fear, and it wants to it wants to have the characters dive into madness and hopelessness, and it shows like the characters, the humans, more or less as completely powerless. They're just like, and whatever was happening, the monsters, the gods, the natural phenomenons or the supernatural phenomenons that people are exposed to are just like, they cannot do anything about it. So common tribes of cosmic horror are people going mad, people having nothing they can do against whatever's happening to them, and very often what the evil force is not directly evil, but the destructive force. It's a destructive force, and usually it's passive, and sometimes humans get killed. In some cosmic horror stories, whole cities, groups of people, sometimes the whole world basically gets destroyed passively without anyone actually having the intention of doing something against them. The gods and like more powerful creatures in Lovecraftian horror, they basically just accidentally can kill off the whole humanity without even like being aware of the humans existing. Just that's how Lovecraftian and like cosmic horror works a lot of times, and it's also playing a lot with xenophobia, like with the fear of the unknown and stuff like that. They kind of want to dive into like the primal fears of humans. That's like those are the tropes of cosmic horror, Lovecraftian horror, and specifically the Lovecraftian universe, which is, by the way, outsourced. You are allowed to write your own story in the setting, and gets canon in Lovecraftian lore, which can lead to some ridiculous stuff, and also already led to some ridiculous stuff. And in that universe, there are a lot of gods. And a lot of them are like kind of sea creature like, and they're supposed to be, I don't know, somewhat in the sea or something, and like a lot of them have a lot of tentacles, like, so like sea creatures are kind of like definitely something that they like to use in Lovecraftian horror. And so these gods, they pray to dream gods or sea gods. So this is interesting because sea gods, obviously, it's something people like to do with Lovecraftian stuff, and also the fear of the depth of the ocean is definitely something that plays into that really goes along with cosmic horror tropes and like cosmic horror tropes. But also now dream gods. There is I forgot which one it was. Was it Cthulhu himself? Like there was one god. I think it might have... No. I think it was not Cthulhu himself, but I might be wrong at that. I just get confused with the names of Lovecraftian gods. But there's actually a god that is supposed to sleep, and basically everything, the whole reality, the world, humanity itself, is all just part of a dream that creature has. And when this creature, this god, wakes up, everything ends. So that's also an example of like humans have no saying on what happens with them, and once he wakes up, it's over. Life ends because he stops dreaming us up, and we cannot do anything about it. It's out of our reach. We are powerless. So that's another, like, that's again Lovecraftian horror trope. So, and we have sea or dream god, which really ties into that. It's very on the nose, but also in this one that also like came immediately to my mind. In the tutorial sequence, we are in a dream, and it's a dream god. It might be a dream god, so it might have like influenced our dreams, reached out to us in a way already. And also in the dream we saw dead fish and whales. And this is, and also it's supposed to be maybe a sea god, which ties into that as well. We saw also some kind of giant sea monster thingy. But also, the inhabitants of the island are, like, in the past known to be whalers. And, like, sea god and, like, whale hunting, and we saw some dead whales and shit. So this all really ties together immediately.
All I have to do is go to the port. I just hope that I can find a boat able to take me to Darkwater.
Oh, I skipped the dialogue. That was not my intention. I'm gonna take another swig. Oh, it's empty. I'm drunk! So last time I forgot to take another swig. I love this. I love the fact that I got drunk off the last swig. Last time I thought about taking another swig before I leave, but I forgot to do it.
Darkwater is off the coast of Boston.
I'm sorry. That's...
But I've never heard of it. According to this book, it was often mentioned during whale hunting times at the end of the 19th century.
Oh, I'm not
It seems
drunk
to have
anymore.
been shunned since then.
Okay, I cannot, like, refill it. So I drank all of my whiskey. That's nice. Cool. I did not know that the whiskey would, like, empty out at some point. I actually thought this whiskey would be there forever. Last time I played, I just forgot to take the third sip, but I intended to, and I actually said that, which you cannot hear in the recording. That I deleted yet now. But anyways, let's leave. Let's head out. So now we still have, like, one cutscene, and after the cutscene, I'm gonna end the episode. So the cutscene is just us going to Darkwater, and there's a pretty nice guy. Like, I like him immediately because he seems to be extremely helpful. He seems to be pretty open, and, like, even though he's not super nice and, like, treating me like a friend immediately, he just, like, he's pretty open to you, and he offers help immediately. And he just is like, okay, so this is, I would suggest you just go to the bar now, which is always a nice suggestion, except for if you're talking to an alcoholic, which we are, but he does not know that. So it is a nice thing to say, to be like, hey, this is a pub. Might seem rough at first glance, but it actually is pretty nice in there. And also, he's like, this is my place. And I got some documents about your case, so come over to me if you want to have a look at them. So that's extremely helpful and pretty open right off the bat. I feel like this character might be a nice character to interact with at first, just to, like, make it easier. Just like, this is a guy, oh yeah, he is easy to interact with, have this nice guy. So, but yeah, I like the character so far. Okay, there we go. Cutscene starts. I'm gonna try not to talk over dialogue. So it's very foggy. I really hope my audio is mixed correctly and I'm loud enough. I'm gonna check that later, and if I'm a little bit too if I'm too quiet, I will definitely fix that in the next episode. Don't worry. I'm sorry if this one's hard to bear. I just realized that maybe there are some other settings I forgot about that got reset to default when I had some problems with my PlayStation, which made the audio be too...
We're almost there.
That's the guy. So I just realized that maybe my audio is a little bit too quiet right now. Call of Cthulhu. So I guess this was just the tutorial that showed us how to move around, how to interact with objects, showed us the basics of the game, basically, right?
Stay on board. There's guys coming to unload. Welcome to Darkwater Island, Mr. Pierce.
Why, thank you, Captain Fitzroy.
So, what wind brought you?
Does the Hawkins case mean anything to you?
A sad story that we would all prefer to forget. Charles Hawkins may have been a landlubber, but he was a good man.
And his wife, Sarah Hawkins.
A nice young woman, and a great painter. What a tragedy. You know what? Go have a drink at the Stranded Whale. What you need is a good pick-me-up. Mitchell may not be very welcoming, but his bar holds a surprise for you. As for me, you'll find me at the Harbor Master's office. If it's the Hawkins family that brings you here, I have a pile of documents that should interest you.
Understood. I'm going for a look around the docks.
So, my first impression when he said I'm supposed to go to the Stranded Whale, he might not be that inviting, but the bar holds a surprise for me. That sounded intimidating to me. But then he was like, also I'm at the Harbor Master's office and like, I got a bunch of documents about the case, and if you want to take a look at them, come over. I'm gonna show them to you. Now he all of a sudden seems really nice to me, and now I think it's a genuine offer to, hey, go to the bar and shit. And also there's a dead whale and a policeman that will tell the people to fuck off. So at first I was like, a dead whale, just like on the harbor, that's like kind of morbid. But then I got closer and the policeman was like, there's nothing to see here, just like it's just an accident or something like that. And that lets me to believe that this is not a usual occurrence here, or maybe not too usual. It's not something that's all the time happening, right? At least I believe that. But I'm gonna end the episode here. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and from here on out, it will be a completely blind playthrough. I know nothing about the game. I avoided every kind of spoiler. I always do that, specifically with horror games or story-driven horror games that I just try to avoid any material that spoils the game for me, that spoils anything about the game for me as good as I can. I just try to avoid it at any cost. And I actually know nothing about the game, even though I was interested in the game since the very first time a launch trailer was released. And I was like, this sounds really cool. I'm gonna avoid everything about the game until I can play it. And now, a nice friend of mine just gave me her copy of the game, and I'm able to play it now. And I'm very happy about that. And I'm pretty sure this game will hold some surprises, and I'm really looking forward to play through this game. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Have a nice day, and good night. Bye.